Live from the Buffalo Wild Wings studios, it's time to get locked into the best Sooner recruiting and football news with Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino call-in line at 405-329-9000 or text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
Well. It's a big old news day, Mr. Singleton.
I mean, it started at 11:30 last night.
Listen, the beat always delivers. I'll say it time and again. Just when you think there's about to be a lull, just when you think you're going to have to manufacture content for who knows how long, the beat always delivers. We thought it was going to be a quiet bye week. Not so, my friend. Not so. I would go as far as to say, as I mentioned in the 12 o'clock hour, that today is the biggest day in the world of Oklahoma recruiting since I joined the beat. That spans 6 going on 7 years. I cannot recall a day of this magnitude. I mean, maybe the day Caleb Williams committed. Maybe the day Oklahoma flipped Peyton Bowen, just because that was the conclusion of such a lengthy and drawn-out process that it was relief and catharsis for the entire OU fan base to such an extent that it was memorable and probably would have been just as memorable even if Peyton Bowen wasn't a 5-star. But you cannot overstate the significance of what took place this morning, Grayson Singleton. Oklahoma lands the top 2 prospects from within state lines, both top 50 players nationally, and both offensive linemen in the span of mere minutes. Cooper Hackett, in case you live under a rock, the 5-star offensive tackle from Fort Gibson, flipped his commitment from Texas Tech to Oklahoma early this morning. In technicality, it happened late last night when he made the call to Bill Bedenbaugh. It was announced publicly this morning. Minutes later, the news breaks that 4-star Bigsby offensive lineman Kaydin Penny is also locked in with Oklahoma. The number 1 player in the state in the 27 cycle and the number 2 player in the state in the 27 cycle. The number 12 player and the number 34 player nationally, mind you, are both Oklahoma Sooners. And here, Grayson, even though there are 5 days left in the month, we can officially award KREF Recruiter of the Month honors jointly to William E. Bedenbaugh and Theodore Lehman. Those two bring home the honors this month.
I mean, look. Yeah, no dispute there. They are the KREF Recruiters of the Month. Here's how I look at this. And when you texted me this morning that Penny also – well, actually, I found out before you texted me about that. You know what I think about? Last year, or this cycle really, the 2026 cycle, you didn't hit the layups with the in-state kids. And I think when you're a program with as much mystique as Oklahoma has, especially in a state like Oklahoma, no professional sports teams, you're the biggest thing in the territory, you got to hit your layups. And it seems like the 2027 class, they're hitting the layups. And why do I phrase it like that, and why do I say it like this with the excitement that I do? Because you hit the layups, especially with people of this caliber, that's a springboard to everything else. You know, I said back when Jim Nagy was first getting going at Oklahoma that it was going to be a couple of years until you actually felt on the field what his impact is going to be. And I still hold to that because what has his impact been so far? He's closed out dudes in the 2027 class, which means it's going to take a little bit for them to get on the field and for you to actually see it. But these are the first couple of big momentous occasions in the Jim Nagy era. And it starts with just doing the simple things. Like, if you can hit the simple things in life, it doesn't matter whether it's recruiting, it doesn't matter whether it's with your job, it doesn't matter if it's just nailing the basics when you're trying to get into a relationship. You nail the simple stuff, the other things can start to fall into place because you've built the foundation. So that's what I think about when you land a 5-star and a high 4-star from within your own state lines. You have nailed the simple stuff, and you are off to an awesome start.
And given that Cooper Hackett's commitment to Texas Tech lasted barely 3 weeks, the question that everyone has today, and rightfully so, it's already been circulated several times on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. The question everyone's asking is, well, why did he commit to Texas Tech in the first place? And folks, I said we could discuss it very candidly once this was all over. It is now over, so let's discuss it. And I can tell this in all transparency without burning any sources because I've heard it from so many sources that it cannot be directly traced back to any of them. Here is the reason that Cooper Hackett committed to Texas Tech. The way that Texas Tech approached Hackett's recruitment. Obviously, we know what Cody Campbell and those folks out there in West Texas are operating with in terms of finances and resources. They've got money. They're not afraid to spend it. The way that Texas Tech approached Cooper Hackett's recruitment was they put a very lucrative financial offer in front of him with a self-destruct button attached to it.
It's a good way of putting it.
Essentially, what they told Hackett was, we will pay you X amount of money, which, to be clear, was in excess of 7 figures, if you give us a verbal commitment by Y date. We will give you X amount of money to commit by Y date. However, if you wait and do not commit to us by this date, the amount of money that we are offering you then drops. And so if you want to lock in your earning potential, if you want to lock in your price point here at Texas Tech, you have to give us a verbal by this date. And so in essence, the reason Cooper Hackett committed to Texas Tech was because in the event that he did not get what he needed / wanted from Oklahoma in terms of the money. Because, look, he's a 5-star. He's going to make a good deal of money anyway. You just got to ensure if you're in his shoes that you're not getting lowballed by the school you actually want to be at.
Yeah.
And so his commitment to Texas Tech was designed to lock in that number with the Red Raiders in the event that Oklahoma screwed up.
It was an insurance policy.
It was an insurance policy in many ways. However, part of the reason why even after Hackett's commitment to Texas Tech, I maintained on these airwaves that Oklahoma would wind up getting his signature was because I had been told authoritatively and definitively from the OU side for months, we will not screw this up with Cooper Hackett. We will make sure he gets the amount that he deserves. And from that standpoint, knowing what I knew about Oklahoma's willingness to ensure that he was fairly compensated, and knowing what I knew about Cooper Hackett and his lifelong desire to wear the crimson and cream, it was as easy as 2 + 2 = 4. And it was really just a matter of when it all came down in terms of the flip from Texas Tech to Oklahoma. Frankly, I didn't expect it this quickly. And there are a lot of monetary conversations, a lot of financially oriented conversations between Hackett and Oklahoma that haven't happened yet. The reason Cooper Hackett committed to Oklahoma here in mid-September, late September 2025 is not necessarily because he was guaranteed the number that he was looking for from Oklahoma. It's because he knew in his heart this is where he wanted to be, and he trusted that the staff and the front office were going to take care of him in every way. not the least of which is financial compensation. All right, so Oklahoma's going to take care of him. They've expressed that to him. They've said, look, even if we haven't had every single conversation there is to have about the compensation that you'll receive when you get to Norman, just trust that you will be paid fairly, and we will develop you into an NFL left tackle. He believed all that. He took the staff at their word. He was on campus for the Michigan game. He was back on campus for the Auburn game. And all of it added up to a commitment last night that he was 1,000% confident in and has no reason whatsoever to second guess. So at this point, folks, this is the face of your 2027 class. Out of Fort Gibson, America, 5-star offensive tackle Cooper Hackett is locked in with the Sooners, and he is not going anywhere.
I like to look at this from this perspective too, and I know you and I do not deal on this show in exact numbers, so we're not going to go there. What I will say is that from a roster construction standpoint, within the vein of finite resources that you're going to have at your disposal, Oklahoma's off to an excellent start. Just from a behind-the-scenes perspective, this could not be any better for Oklahoma right now. And again, I'll just go back to just convert the simple things. And you got a kid who has long wanted to be here. Give him a reason to be here. Mm-hmm. Those are the people you don't want to run off, man. And as long as you do that, now you're starting to build a reputation, because this is going to matter in a world where you're dealing with agents now. Negotiating in good faith relationships go a long way. They will go a long way. They've gone a long way before. I think it means even more now. So the fact that what you just articulated is that Cooper Hackett knows, hey, I'm going to be taken care of. We don't have to have every single conversation right now. Just give me enough to know that I'm going to be dealing with you guys in good faith, and we're good to go. That's how you lock down the easiest and the baseline of stuff.
Caleb from the 580 says regarding Texas Tech, so they're essentially blackmailing them? Skull emoji. No, it's not blackmail. I think, in all honesty, it's a really shrewd business tactic, right? Like, it's easier to keep a guy committed than to flip him from another school in most cases, right? And so what Texas Tech is banking on is, hey, we have this money set aside. Say you're an elite prospect, a big-name prospect that we're recruiting. We'll promise you this amount of money, but you have to commit. And if you don't want to commit, well, then we're going to diminish our offer over time. The longer you want to drag this out, the smaller the bag is going to become if you want to come here to Lubbock, Texas. And I think what that's manifested in for the Red Raiders, when you look at their 2027 class to date, is, they hold an early commitment from the number one player in the entire country in the 27 class, an edge rusher, LaDainian Guyton. Now, whether or not that commitment holds is a different conversation, because he's from the state of Georgia, and you would think some of those traditional SEC powerhouses are going to come calling with money of their own when it comes time to seal the deal. But what Texas Tech is making on is, we have this deal in principle lined up with LaDainian Guyton, and for a time there had it lined up with Cooper Hackett, and we're just going to trust that we can maintain, that we can hold the line, that over the course of the remainder of the recruitment process, getting them here to Lubbock as many times as we can possibly get them here, just continuing to develop those relationships, they will see no reason to go somewhere other than Texas Tech.
It's a very interesting strategy, no doubt. How long do you think it will be until what you have seen in previous cycles with USC starts to become a trend at Texas Tech? Because they're front-loading all this money and say, you got to commit to this now. And then, eventually some people will back off. I wonder if this is going to become a USC-adjacent type of thing where people are going to lock in their dollars as an insurance policy, essentially what Cooper Hackett just did. And then if they find somewhere they like better, or there was a school that has said, hey, we're going to take care of you, don't worry, be it Oklahoma or other places, if Texas Tech eventually pivots from that strategy.
Mm-hmm. Boomer Tuner says that's a pretty good strategy. More often than not, if a recruit commits early, that would dissuade them from causing issues or quote-unquote drama in decommitting from Tech, unless they're like Hackett and they love the school they want to go to. Yeah, I mean, basically what you're counting on is you hold a kid's commitment for long enough, you get him on campus for long enough, you get him solely focused on your program and your vision and the relationships with your coaches for long enough, those bonds become too numerous to break. And in this case, didn't quite work with Cooper Hackett. Will it work with LaDainian Guyton? Will it work with a guy like Kavian Bryant, the talented quarterback out of Palestine, Texas, that Tech seems to be on track to landing? We shall see. A 405 listener points out, blackmailing would be like them telling a recruit, commit to us or we'll tell everyone about your father's drug habit. To be clear, that's not a reference to any real-life situation or series of events. That's just a random example from a listener. But yes, that would be an example of blackmail. So, no, it's not blackmail. I mean, it's just, again, that's a tactic that Tech feels like they can deploy to great success. Time will tell.
LaDonna from Lubbock said, getting them here to Lubbock is a hard sale, especially if they're here on a day where the orange dirt is blowing in their face.
Is the dirt orange out there?
Is it?
I haven't
been out there.
I haven't been out to Lubbock enough to have noticed that. Certainly not on a haboob type of day.
Forgot about that one.
Ken from Norman says, the Texas Tech model will never work long term. You have to build a long relationship with these kids and their families, not just swoop in, throw money at them, and hope they stick. And that may be true, Kent. I mean, evidently, Tech has a strategy. They're willing to count on it. We'll see if it works. OU's strategy all along was just make Cooper Hackett feel the love. Just make him feel like Norman, Oklahoma was home and that he could trust the staff and their vision for him and their willingness to pay him according to his actual market value. And he believed in that. And that's why he's committed. 405-651-3439 is the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Just getting started. Here on a Thursday, you're listening to Locked In on the home of Sooner fans. Keep it here on The Ref.
The Ref Radio Sports Network is powered statewide by the insurance adjusters at Brown O'Haver. Fire, wind, theft, or tornado, we can help. Call 405-735-5510.
Every year, over 4.5 million people are attacked by dogs. Almost half of these victims are children. A dog attack doesn't inflict only physical scars. The invisible ones are often even worse.
Dog attacks can cause devastating lifetime injuries. They can shatter our sense of safety.
At McIntyre Law, we understand the emotional toll of a dog attack. We are here to guide you on your path to recovery step by step. If a dog attack has affected your family, call us at 405-777-7000.
Purple Wave Auction remains the trusted leader in online equipment auctions. What makes the difference is you. You are part of our growing global community that continues to trust Purple Wave with the equipment that builds and feeds America. This trust placed in us by our community, from construction to ag producers and fleet drivers, brings great equipment opportunities to their next owners. Join the Purple Wave community today. purplewave.com.
Don't miss out on OKC's hottest entertainment at the Showplace Theater with acts like
Bret Michaels, September 27th. Collective Soul, October 17th. And the Oak Ridge Boys, November 28th.
Riverwind is OKC's favorite casino experience.
For the professional, it's not enough to just possess knowledge. That's why at GMC, we seek to refine it, to wield its power, to redefine its boundaries, while pushing the limits. And we put this knowledge to the test in every GMC Sierra by engineering each one to outperform your expectations. So you know you're getting precision and durability when you need it most. And that's what makes the GMC Sierra the truck worth knowing. We are professional grade. See your Oklahoma GMC dealers.
Feeling stuck in your current home? Now is the best time to make a move. Home Creations is making home ownership more affordable with low interest rate opportunities and special financing. Don't wait. Live like a champion today. Call Holly at 405-364-9999 to find your dream home.
364-9999 means Home Creations.
Hey guys, it's Dory Noka. Have you been involved in an auto accident? If so, it's time to contact the OKC Car Crash Clinic of Dr. Martin Lopez. He's a board-certified and fellowship MD with unparalleled training and experience. Dr. Lopez works with a great team of healthcare professionals and attorneys to help you achieve the best physical and financial recovery. Contact Dr. Lopez at 405-86-CRASH or at okccrash.com. Don't forget to listen every week to the Dory Noka Show for the Impact Player of the Game, brought to you by Dr. Martin Lopez.
We know our Ref Army members love helping the Norman community, and this is your sign to be big. Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Norman have provided over 320 children with life-changing mentors this year. Please support this mission by joining us for a night of good bites, good sips, and the sounds of Nashville at the inaugural Nashville fundraiser on September 12th at Embassy Suites in Norman. You can be a Nashville sponsor, buy tickets, or donate at normangala.org or learn more about being a mentor at bigoklahoma.org. And remember, it takes little to be a big.
Hey, this is OEC Fiber. Are you tired of slow internet? With our gig speed fiber, your whole household can stream, game, and work at the same time without buffering. OEC Fiber gives you reliable speeds up to a full gig and a friendly local support team in Oklahoma. Ready to plug in speed you can count on? Visit OECfiber.com or tap your screen now. That's OEC Fiber. Fast, local, and trustworthy.
It is locked in here on the Ref, the Home of Sooner fans. Parker, Thune, Grayson, Singleton with you on a Thursday. Here's what I need to know, Grayson. Why is it suddenly so difficult for me to find pretzel buns when I go grocery shopping? What has happened to the nation's supply of pretzel buns?
I don't know. Maybe that they're not that good?
Pretzel buns are not that good?
I mean, I don't hate them, but I don't necessarily like them.
Really?
No,
what beef do you have with the pretzel bun, man? The pretzel bun is a staple of my diet.
Really?
Yes, man. Breakfast sandwiches, pretzel bun. Burgers, pretzel bun. Chicken sandwiches, pretzel bun. Always pretzel bun. It's
really?
Always the pretzel bun.
I mean, they're good. I don't know. Too much bread doesn't really jive with my body very well. So when it comes to pretzel buns, it's like, this is a little much.
Not a big gluten guy?
I mean, I'm not gluten-free. I can definitely eat it, but just not in that form.
Chris from Knoxville says, TikTok probably made them popular, so everyone is buying them. A verified source also said, send Grayson to Lubbock for that comment. You're being deported, sir. Shipped out to West Texas.
No.
For your distaste of pretzel buns.
No.
Lately, it's like I go to Sprouts, can't find pretzel buns. Go to Walmart, can't find pretzel buns. Where can I find a pretzel bun in this economy?
Hey, I have somebody, I have an ally. There's the word I was looking for. AJ and Edmond, the pretzel bun is a 2-star.
Boo! The Waffler says, Parker, I bet you eat avocado toast, too. I do not eat avocado toast.
I'll raise my hand to that.
I ain't that woke.
I eat avocado toast on sourdough bread.
Really?
I do.
You and Mule Shoe.
Oh. Well, that's a vibe kill.
I wanted to dig into another text from a verified source regarding the whole Texas Tech Hackett situation. And he points out businesses use this tactic all the time, especially in a negotiation. Sign by end of quarter, get X% off. Nothing illegal about it, though some folks don't take kindly to such things. Yeah, I mean, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. See if it works out for me. And we've talked about the fact that Jalen Brewster, the number 1 defensive tackle in the country in the 2027 class, looks to be on track to committing to Texas Tech in the next couple of weeks here. Just keep in mind, folks, especially now that I have explained what went on behind the scenes in the Cooper Hackett recruitment, understand that even if Brewster commits to Texas Tech, this thing's a long way from the finish line. And Oklahoma's still going to be right there in the thick of it with Jalen Brewster. Because as much as they prioritize the recruitments of Cooper Hackett and Kaeden Penny, they have put a virtually equal emphasis on the recruitment of Jalen Brewster. They want him in Norman badly.
I mean, as you should. And with the way this defensive line has looked, particularly the interior, with the 4 guys that they're running out there, they have put on a hell of a showcase as to what a defensive tackle can be when developed in this system.
Hawaiian Sooner says Grayson works out with kettlebells. Cody from Tulsa says Grayson is all about the meat, not the buns.
There are about a million different tawdry ways I could respond to that.
Do you
and
want
no, I don't. I can't remember the last time I touched a kettlebell.
That's good. Benny Wiley and the kettlebells. Don't miss him. Don't miss him. 405-651-3439 is the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, folks. The show is brought to you today and every day by Dorsey Jones GMC out in El Reno. Dorsey Jones, if you're in the market for a new vehicle, you should know. GMC offers some of the most reliable trucks and SUVs on the road today. You can also get fantastic service out at Dorsey Jones, including half-price oil changes on Saturdays. So if you need something with which to occupy your bye week this Saturday, go get that oil changed at Dorsey Jones. Big Wing says, Grayson's all about that Tennessee meat, more or less about that Oklahoma State bread.
Hang on, read that one again?
I don't even understand it.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to comprehend it. I'm not going to lie.
If there's something I'm missing, let me know.
Craig in Cleveland says, you got to go toasted Asiago cheese bagel for a hamburger bun. Game changer.
By the way, have you tried Aldi in terms of trying to find your pretzel buns?
I do not shop at Aldi.
Really?
I do not shop at Aldi.
Is there a philosophical reason for
There's not a philosophical reason, just less than stellar experiences in the past.
Okay, fair
Not
enough.
an Aldi person.
Valid.
There are plenty of people out there that are Aldi people. I don't begrudge you for it. I'm not one of them.
Fair enough.
Kyle from Salisaw asked what happened behind the scenes with Hackett. Well, if you missed the first segment, Kyle, TLDR, Tech made him a deal monetarily with an expiration date on it, at which point the deal would drop in value. Hackett committed to Tech in order to lock in that rate, that price point in Lubbock. But all along, Oklahoma's where he wanted to be. I mean, he was quoted as such in the story I did this morning at OUinsider.com. Talked to him late last night. He said going to Oklahoma was the plan from day one. And it worked out, and he's a Sooner, and he's the face of the 2027 class. And now the question is, can Oklahoma get this momentum rolling into something a lot more serious in the 27 class? They're off to a great start. 3 offensive line commits already. Think about that. 4 commits total. 3 of them are offensive linemen. Luke Wilson, the offensive tackle from South Lake Carroll.
Who's really good himself.
Yes, he is. And then Cooper Hackett and Kaeden Penny, the top 2 players from within state lines. Here's the thing, though. I think this has the chance. I think this has the opportunity to be a massive in-state haul for Oklahoma in the 27 cycle. Because as I look around, as I look at some of the top players in the state that have OU offers, I think OU leads for Gabe Osborne out of Mustang.
Good player.
I think OU leads for Case Alexander out of Washington. I think OU leads for Ben Kolar out of Norman North. Just to name a few. There are 11 players in the state with offers from Oklahoma. Not all of those offers are 100% committable right now. I don't expect that Oklahoma is going to sign 11 players from within state lines next cycle. But if you told me Oklahoma lands 5 or 6 of the top 10 players in the state of Oklahoma from the 27 class, I could buy it. I could buy it.
I think I said this a couple of days ago, if not last week, but there are more OU good prospects in the 2027 class in the state of Oklahoma than there were in the 2026 class. The 2027 class is bananas in the state of Oklahoma right now.
It's an incredible class, both in terms of depth and top-end talent. And OU Rob from Tishomingo wants to know, what's the story behind Kaden Penny? I mean, it's simple. Oklahoma pitched a vision. Kaden Penny loved it. He wants the development. He loves the cultural fit at Oklahoma. And perhaps most importantly, Grayson, this ends the drought at Bigsby. And we've talked about it.
Yeah.
The Sooners have never signed a scholarship player from Bigsby in the modern recruiting era. They are now on track to end the 30-year dry spell, almost. It could be longer than that. I don't know anything about what Oklahoma was doing recruiting-wise, geographically or otherwise, in the pre-internet era. But in the darn near 30 years of the internet recruiting era, no Bigsby Spartans have signed with Oklahoma on scholarship.
You know, you were speaking of Bixby, since we're bringing that up, and by the way, that is Bixby with an X.
Bigsby.
Trey McLaughlin decommitted from Oklahoma State earlier today, or yesterday rather. Any chance that Oklahoma goes after him or no?
McLaughlin?
Yes.
No, I don't think Oklahoma will pursue him.
Okay.
And I have not gotten the sense in speaking with well-placed sources on the matter that the Sooners are going to make a move on Kaydin Jones either. So, I know many have asked about that. I was told earlier in the week it was a possibility. After evidently some further conversations that have occurred within the building, doesn't sound like that's a direction Oklahoma's going to go.
This is a good question from Guinness the Menace. Hell of a name, by the way. How can an offer be uncommittable?
How do I even explain this? I guess the best way to think about it is, and there's not a perfect way to explain this whole phenomenon. You would think every offer would be committable, right? But I guess the simplest way an offer could become non-committable is, let's say you offer 6 quarterbacks in the same cycle. One of them commits. Well, you're only taking one quarterback. The other 5, their offers at that point become non-committable. It's as if they don't exist. If they pick up the phone and say, I want to come to the University of Oklahoma, you're saying, sorry, we're full. There are a number of reasons why an offer would become non-committable over the course of a given recruiting cycle. Maybe you feel like there are character concerns. You back off a kid. He wants too much NIL money. You want to go a different direction. There are a multiplicity of reasons why a school would choose not to honor a scholarship offer that they made to a player. So recruiting is highly fluid by nature. Just because a kid announces an offer from a particular school does not mean that school is obligated to nor will pursue him and accept his commitment if he tries to give it. So that's why it's worthwhile to stay tapped in with reputable sites such as OUinsider.com that can keep you up to speed on who's a priority and who's not. Shameless plug, folks. Late last night, before anyone else knew, members at OUinsider.com were aware that there were multiple 2027 commits on tap. And indeed, they both dropped within a matter of hours. Joe in Tulsa asked about Taj Overton. Not happening. Oklahoma's not inclined to pursue him. So it really doesn't look like Oklahoma State's class, or what was once their class, is something that the Sooners are going to peruse seriously.
Yeah, no, and Taj Overton, even though he's really good, top 20 tackle in the nation, he is undersized. Like, that cannot be overstated or ignored. He is undersized. And he also hasn't decommitted from Oklahoma State yet either. So just keep that in mind.
That is true. He hasn't.
And neither has Braden Presley.
No, although he's starting to announce other offers, which is generally your first clue.
Yeah.
Back to a verified source on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Off topic a bit. We'll allow it.
Okay.
You're a reputable texter. I know people want to know how they'll adjust the offense for Hawkins. But from what I've heard, they've not done that at all. They trust him to run the passing game just as they did Mateerial, though expect more perimeter run game with Hawkins, which perfectly tracks, right? I mean,
yeah.
Hawkins not as much of a between-the-tackles runner as John Mateerial is by nature. He's not as big physically as John Mateerial is. So, yeah, more perimeter run game, less between-the-tackles run game makes perfect sense. And to confirm what a verified source is saying on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, it's absolutely true with regard to the passing game. This staff, Ben Arbuckle, John Kaczewski, the whole brain trust there, they have the utmost faith in Michael Hawkins as a thrower. And he has come a long way in terms of processing and precision since last year. And he made some big boy throws last year.
Yes, he did.
Let's not forget. He made some big boy throws at times. That throw to Zion Kearney in the bowl game was a dot. I don't know if anybody remembers the play I'm talking about, but he threw a dot to Jacquez Petaway in the Tennessee game that was a beautiful next-level throw. So the guy can sling the rock. He is not just an athlete playing the quarterback position. So it's going to be exciting to see how Ben Arbuckle comes out of the gate against Kent State, because on the one hand, you'd think they'll keep the game plan pretty meh, right? They'll keep the game plan pretty basic. Why would you show much against Kent State? But I also feel like, man, especially if you're getting prepared for Texas, you got to let Michael Hawkins cook a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to deploy a diverse array of passing concepts and let the world see in real time that he can indeed execute those reads and process and see the whole field and deliver accurate passes.
Your thought is exactly mine. You don't want the first time in, over a year or close to a calendar year that he's run an intricate game plan to be against that Texas defense, which, by the way, a Texas defense that saw Michael Hawkins last year in the Red River game. Santa John on the text line just said, congratulations, Grayson. Did Jalen Montinati commit to OSU?
He did.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
I expected that, but I didn't know if he'd announced it just yet.
Yes, Jalen Montinati did give the Pokes a basketball commitment, and a big one.
I know the Pokes football program is in turmoil right now, but they like Steve Lutz up there. I will tell you that. They like Steve Lutz.
I like Steve Lutz.
I like Steve Lutz, too. Met him a couple times.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
What kind of a guy is he?
Chill, stand-up dude, warm dude. I like him.
Who would be your office comp for Steve Lutz?
Doug, I haven't watched The Office since I was like 14.
No, I'm talking about this office. In this office, who is he most comparable to from a personality standpoint?
Ooh. That's interesting. Dare I say you?
Really? Okay, I'll take it. Steve Lutz, my brother. Let's go get a sandwich sometime.
Like, never goes outside. You remember from J School when they taught you about editing audio, how you want it to peak between certain levels? Steve Lutz and you are that kind of same way, where you never go higher than that level and you're never really lower than that level. Just always in that perfect in that perfect realm.
Even keel, if you will.
Very even keel.
And I will. Steve Lutz, excited to meet you, man. Let's touch base. Let's vibe, you and I. 405-651-3439 is the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Here on the Ref, the home of Sooner fans. One final segment of Locked In coming up next. Keep it here.
Do you eat, sleep, and breathe Sooner football? We do too. This is the Ref, home of Sooner fans.
Hey, it's Mike Steely here for my friend Gary and the great staff at Kaydin's Group. After all the rain in the spring and now with temperatures on the rise, you might have a problem with mold growing in your home or business. Let the staff at Kaydin's help you before it becomes a major issue. Don't forget, Kaydin's can help you with water emergencies and biohazard cleanup 24 hours a day. Call Kaydin's today at 405-573-3048 or visit them online at kaydinsgroup.com.
I'm your football-obsessed best man. Physically, I'm right here. But mentally, I'm here. Yeah, I do. Come on, speed it up. When all eyes are on you, my eyes are glued to the game. Whoa! Touchdown, yeah! And if you didn't bundle your home and auto insurance, well, all of this could be tough to tackle. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Call Josh Nelson, Allstate Insurance Agency, 405-360-9500 to be protected from mayhem.
Sidelined by injury? Valor Physical Therapy and H2 Health Company can help. Our therapists use their knowledge and skills to help get you back in the game faster. Book your appointment now at valorpt.com or call 405-609-3637. No referral needed. Mention the Ref and get a free t-shirt at your first appointment. That's valorpt.com.
Oklahoma is rife with high school talent, and KREFSports.tv is the way to see them all before they head to the next level. From OU softball commit Keegan Baker to Washington football commit Mason James, KREFSports.tv brings you the best of Oklahoma 6A sports with the best broadcasters in the state. With softball, volleyball, and now football season ongoing, tap into KREFSports.tv, the best high school sports coverage in Oklahoma.
Hi, folks. This is Larry Knippelmeyer here at Knippelmeyer Chevrolet in Blanchard, USA. Conveniently located just 15 minutes south of Oklahoma City and 10 minutes west of Norman. With all the talk of inflation, market crashes, and tariffs, it's no wonder we're all afraid to make that new vehicle purchase. Now, with that being said, there will probably never be a better time to purchase your new Chevrolet at Knippelmeyer Chevrolet. No price increase or tariffs on our huge selection of in-stock vehicles. Pickups, SUVs, cars, and even Corvettes, all marked down and ready to sell. Interest rates are good, used vehicle trade-ins are high, and rebates and incentives are back on most new Chevrolets. So hop in that old vehicle and come see us at Knippelmeyer Chevrolet in Blanchard, where nobody beats our deal. Or give us a call at 405-485-3333 or catch us on the web at knippelmeyer.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
It's officially fall, so that means it's time for the biggest tree sale of the year at Markham's Nursery. If it's a flowering, shade, or evergreen tree, including all crepe myrtles, it's on sale this weekend. Discounts start at 10%, and the larger the tree, the larger the discount, all the way up to 50% off. Go to our website at markhamsnursery.com and click the Fall Tree Sale tab for all information. It's the Fall Tree Sale this weekend at Markham's Nursery.
Markham's Nursery, just had the sun.
Hi, Josh Helmer here for my friends at Auto Image USA in Norman, where they have everything you need to upgrade your ride. At Auto Image USA, they have so many services for you like paint correction, window tint, paint protection film, or maybe you want that boat, RV, or car looking brand new in the interior again with the top-of-the-line detailing. Plus, you can get their Enviro Shield paint and interior fabric protection backed by their 3 or 5 year warranty. Call them today, 405-321-4444. They are the best. Check them out.
It is locked in here on the Ref, the home of Sooner fans. One final segment. We are just over an hour away from hearing from Brent Venables. You won't hear from him in real time. I don't think anybody will be able to live stream the press conference, but he will be meeting with the local media, scrum style. So we'll get the chance to fire a few questions at Brent Venables, get his thoughts on how the bye week is going, most specifically, obviously, for Michael Hawkins, as the newly appointed starting quarterback at Oklahoma for however long John Mateerial is on the shelf. Also, as he confirmed yesterday in his SEC teleconference, Giovanni Gibson and Eli Bowen are back to practice for Oklahoma, and you'd expect that those two are going to be in the mix immediately come the Kent State game next Saturday. So, have that on your radars, folks. We will hear from Brent Venables before EOD. A 405 listener on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line says, "Thank you for being spot on for this big recruiting flip. You're welcome. We do our best to be spot on. Why do you think OU might not go after OSU players? Are you referring to OSU recruits or OSU's current roster, i.e. portal-bound members of the Pokes program?"
By the way, did you see that injury report for Oklahoma State ahead of the Baylor game?
I did see it, and it is something else. I think it's actually the longest injury report I've ever seen.
Yes.
I think it's longer than any of the OU availability reports we got last year.
And it's not like a whole lot of Oklahoma State's players are national names, but the ones that approach it are all on that injury report.
By the way, completely off topic here. I saw this come across my Twitter feed earlier today. You might have seen it. Perhaps not. Sean Alexander, former NFL running back.
Yes,
Sean Alexander. Yeah, who was an absolute stud. Was he the MVP one year?
Yes.
Was he the MVP of the league?
Was it 2003? Maybe something like that?
His heyday was like 04 through 07. I want to say, with the Seahawks. And he was a hoss. I mean, like, he was the OG. He and Jerome Bettis were like the OG running back hosses in my mind when I think back to my very early days watching NFL football. Apparently, he and his wife are expecting their 14th child.
Well, if it wasn't his wife, I would have made a comparison to Antonio Cromartie, but I mean it is one woman. So congratulations to y'all. That's a lot of kids.
Props to them.
Congratulations to you.
Props to them. 14 kids together. That's incredible. As long as you got some Travis Hunters in the mix, you can field the whole football team at that point.
You probably grew up religiously adjacent to how I did. So
sure, yeah, religiously adjacent.
Yeah. Did you guys watch 19 Kids and Counting in your house growing up? Because
No,
my mom was obsessed with that family.
I knew of that show. We never watched it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. My mom was obsessed with that show.
Monster Truck Guy says Sean Alexander was such a good freshman. College football named Freshman of the Year award after him. That's right. I forgot about that. 14 kids, good chance of one of his kids winning that award. You know what's crazy? Like, it really is crazy to think about how many of those guys, given their father's athletic genes, I don't know how many are boys or how many are girls, but how many of those kids are going to wind up being collegiate and or professional athletes? What's wild to think about right now is you want to talk about a guy that has, I mean, he's batting 1,000 in that regard. Derek Blaylock, Torrey's dad.
Mm-hmm.
Derek has a son in the CFL. He's got 3 sons that are currently playing college football, including Torrey. He's got a son that's already a blue-chip prospect in the 2027 class and has an offer from OU, Trenton.
Yep.
And then they got a younger one, I think he's maybe 10 or 11, named Truitt, that's going to be a big-time player as well. Props to Derek, man. And, you know, he's got his whole training business, and he makes sure his kids are getting the right physical and athletic development.
Yeah.
And that is borne out in the results. They're getting the right development, no question about it. 6 for 6. At least assuming true it turns out. I'm going to make the safe assumption based on previous results that he will. Well done, Derek. Doing a heck of a job.
No, that's cool stuff.
He may have 2 kids that are Sooners. Heck, maybe 3. Because, as I understand it, Oklahoma's in a pretty good spot for Trenton as well.
There you go.
They love the University of Oklahoma as a family.
James in Lawton says, who has 14 kids?
Sean Alexander's got 14 kids. It's also the type of thing where, like, it's fortuitous that Sean Alexander made as much money in the NFL as he did.
I was about to say, you got to be in
bills aren't cheap.
You got to be in a certain tax bracket to have that many kids.
Yeah, you can't really slum it with 14 kids.
No.
Jake from Wisconsin said, when I lived in Broken Arrow, I met Sean Alexander at my youth group called 180 in Broken Arrow, and he shook my hand and signed his kid's book that I had. Nice man.
You butchered that text so bad.
I did. I did. He did not shake anyone's kid. It was a slip of the tongue.
Mateer's thumb on the YouTube chat, which, yes, that
beautiful.
Yes, says Sean Alexander 0 pullout game.
Oh, gosh. No comment. No comment. Kyle from Salasaw says, any Coop Witten updates? Yeah, let's talk about Cooper Witten. Number 1 linebacker in the country in the 27 cycle. I mean, that's a priority guy for Oklahoma. Would I say OU is the leader for Witten right now? I don't know that I would go that far. They're up there among his favorites. I would expect that they get an official visit next summer from Cooper Witten. They're a serious contender. They're a serious contender for Cooper Witten. I don't know that they lead outright. And I don't think that one is getting close to being over with necessarily. I mean, he's got the proper guidance. He's got a dad that played the game at a high level, a dad that in all likelihood is going to wind up an NFL Hall of Famer that's probably not going to let him make an early decision unless he and everyone in his circle are 1,000% confident in it.
Chris from Knoxville, I did want to get to this. He's interested. Sorry to keep asking. What's the intel on Colton McKibben?
Ooh, that's one of my favorite prospects in the 2027 class. Colton McKibben. He's from the state of New Mexico. Carlsbad, New Mexico. He was in town over the weekend. Yeah, he was in town over the weekend. I'm supposed to catch up with him later today, actually. So I may have some better intel on Colton McKibben by this time tomorrow. But he likes Oklahoma. Likes Oklahoma a lot. He liked Oklahoma a lot even before his visit this past weekend. From everything I've heard secondhand, and from the OU side, his visit went quite well. I want to hear it from the horse's mouth, but yeah, OU's a serious player in that recruitment for Colton McKibben.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I like that kid's game a lot.
JP Sooner says, Crackerbacker update? Talking about Jacob Curry?
I mean, that could be applicable to a bunch of different guys.
I was about to say, which
Cooper
one are you talking
Witten's
about?
a crackerbacker. Colton McKibben's a crackerbacker. Jacob Curry might be the crackerest of the backers. I mean, he's gonna OV with Ohio State and Baylor, Auburn and Miami are in the I think Ohio State is OU's biggest competition for Jacob Curry, the ginger sensation from St. Augustine, Florida. I favor Oklahoma to get that one done. I mean, Jacob Curry acknowledged on the record that OU is his top school right now. Somebody has to leapfrog Oklahoma. Will it happen? Can it happen? I think Ohio State's the only school right now with a serious chance of doing so. A strong chance of doing so. I don't want to rule out that Auburn or Miami or, heck, even Baylor could maybe overtake Oklahoma, but the school I would be most concerned about is Ohio State. That said, Oklahoma's in the lead. Curry himself has said Oklahoma's in the lead. On the OU side of things, there's a lot of confidence that no matter how long it takes, he's going to wind up in the class. That'd be quite an athletic core of linebackers in this 26 crop between him, Bo Jandro, and then Ja'Cory Smith from the state of Arkansas.
580 Mike Honcho says, this is top-tier radio performance by you two today.
Hey, thank you, Mike Honcho. We try to bring our A game every single day. You know, sometimes it's an off day. I'll acknowledge that. Not perfect. Sometimes the accuracy is a little bit all over the place. Even John Mateerial is susceptible to such outings. But
are we the Heisman frontrunners of radio with people under the age of 30?
I would say so. What's the competition look like?
I was about to say, we have to be the only ones.
Locally, certainly. Yeah. I don't know what our competition looks like nationally. But I don't back down from the competition, man. I'll take on anybody. We'll play anybody, anytime, anywhere. Who was it that said that during the COVID pandemic? I forget. It was one of those Big Ten coaches. Can't remember who.
Speaking of white linebackers, the Waffler asks about any chance Braxton Lindsey flips to OU.
No, not happening. Coach Sooner says, dang it! My 10-year-old son just asked me what a crackerbacker was. I told him, and he said, I guess I'm a crackerbacker.
This was funny because my dad and I grew up listening to talk radio in the car with my dad when I was around that age, and the amount of things that I had to ask my dad, yo, what does this mean? And he's like, don't worry about it.
Reformed Homer says, this hour may be my favorite hour of the ref every day. Hey, thanks for hanging with us, man. Big Wink says, I love Grayson. My wife loves Parker.
I'm going to stay out of that one. That's y'all's business right there.
Do you love me too, Big Wink, or is it just the wife? Hopefully I have a 100% approval rating in the Big Wink household. I know I've got at least 50%, evidently. He said, I just want to know about Tatum. That was the end of his text. Big Wink just wants to know about Tatum. Don't we all? It's kind of a mystery, isn't it? I mean, he's been dealing with some injury stuff, so he hasn't been completely right. It's the second biggest mystery right now in the running back room next to Jaden Ott. And I was having a back and forth with a source earlier, right before we went on air. Jaden Ott's gotten some more first-team reps this week. And so I asked about it, and said source said, yeah, he looks about the same. It's like, oh.
It's not often you see athletes at that age precipitously drop in reputation like Jaden Ott has done. in the last month and a half.
Yeah, I mean, shoot. At this point, it's been kind of crazy. Here in the bye week, like we're not talking about Jaden. We've gotten past the point where people are asking what's up with Jaden Knott. It's just we've gotten to the point where no one cares. Like no one is talking about Jaden Knott. No one's bringing up Jaden Knott.
3-star Glenn from Nashville says it makes me very tense to think that the 10-year-old is listening to texts about Sean Alexander's pullout game.
Dump button. Kyle from Salisaw, final text of the day. As a fellow ginger, Curry is now the Ginger Ninja at linebacker for us. Let's go. I love seeing other fellow gingers being successful athletically. Well, there's good precedent for it. Heath Ozitis played good ball for OU. All right, folks, we're done with what has been a very chaotic hour of Locked In here on The Ref. The Rush is coming up next. Tyler McComas and Teddy Lehman on the other side. We'll see you tomorrow on the Home of Sooner Fans.